that top again. What is up, everybody? This is Porky and Kranky. Kranky's here, and -1. Who's technically he's not out of the States, but he's not in the United States. But Louie's on vacation, so I was sad. He didn't let us know. He didn't let me know.
He didn't let anybody know. He told us like maybe a month ago.
He swears he told us.
Yeah, he did. He told us, but it was like a month ago. Yeah. That's why when we were talking about it the other day, and that's when it popped in my head. I said I think he's leaving pretty soon, and that's when I texted him because that's when he texted me that night.
Yeah. Asking
if how much is it to leave your car at the
airport? Oh, that's right. Okay. He meant y'all mentioned something about that.
I was like, why is he asking me that question? He's always flying in and out. Doesn't he know? You know, he's always flying. Yeah. And then that's when I know it's the airline ticket. And then when I saw the luggage, I put two and two together.
All those years of public school education, they finally worked out.
And that's when I was like, oh, I think he's leaving tomorrow. And then sure enough, when
he put it on Facebook.
Yeah, you saw. I didn't see it. I
saw it early.
Yeah, I pieced it again the next morning too when I texted him and it was green. And it was just one of me and him text. And it was green. I was like, oh, he's in the air right now. Hey. You know.
And you were mad. You're like, damn it, Louie changed to an Android.
Yeah. Son of a bitch. No wonder he's not getting my text.
Son of a bitch, man. Yeah. So Louie's out, but me and Kranky are the show must go on. The show will continue. But so actually, I wanted to start off with something. I asked Kranky about it earlier today, and I said, what do we think? What do you think about doing this? Because most of the shows we got, it's kind of it's a funny thing or it's a sports thing that we're always talking about, and we hadn't done anything serious in quite some time. So I wanted to kind of maybe go over some things, and I know that we've. I might gone through some things and or might have known somebody that's gone through some things, and I'm sure Kranky too might have might know some people that have gone through stuff. But I'm talking about mental health. So take a look at the CDC.gov, which I know not a lot of people trust the government, but I'm just getting this information from them. So there's asked, what is mental health? So it says mental health includes our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It affects how we think, feel, and act. It also helps determine how we handle stress, relate to others, and make healthy choices. Mental health is important at every stage of life, from childhood and adolescence through adulthood. So that, I guess, begs the question. So, what's included in mental health?
Like how many different kinds of mental health issues there are?
I saw an article that said that there's over 200 known or I guess acknowledged mental health disorders. It could be schizophrenia, PTSD, substance abuse, all that. And I wanted to show, what in the U.S., not out of the U.S., so how common are mental illnesses? So more than 1 in 5 adults in the U.S. live with a mental illness. So
what was that said?
It's more than 1 in 5.
Okay, so is that currently, or has the number gone up since pre-internet?
Well, I get what you're saying, but it might be current. The CDC, I don't know how often they update their information, but the CDC does take all that information in. I don't know if a lot of people know, but that's how they gather their information. I mean, think of COVID. Like, if you had COVID and you didn't report it, it doesn't count in the CDC. It only counts as reported instances. Oh. So that's probably how they got their numbers and came up with the 1 in 5. But think about it. 5 people, 10 people, 20 people. Like, so 1 in 5 people, that's somebody in your family. That's
friends. Shouldn't the numbers have gone up now from 1 in 5 to maybe like 1 in maybe less, because now that CTE has come out, from NFL players, that's got to be considered a mental health issue. No?
I would probably have to check on that. The list didn't list all 200 of them.
Yeah.
It only listed some of them, but it's possible that that could be one of them. I don't know how often this is updated. Like I said, this is coming directly from the CDC, so I don't know. I don't know how often they do it. If it's yearly, if it's monthly, and again, sometimes,
or if it's just once in that date. That's, I guess, it's on
whatever's showing. Yeah, it could be. I mean, I don't know
the date of that article. I
right.
guess.
Yeah, and this is it's like not necessarily an article, but you can go to the website and you just look up the mental health, and that's where it is. So it's not something that updates. Because I mean, if you didn't know about the CDC either, you can go in and you can look at all how many people died of opioid addiction. You can go in there and you can look up all that stuff. It's like a spreadsheet. So you can go in there and look at all that stuff, alcoholism, car wrecks, suicides. Like it has all that stuff. You can go in there and check it out. But the other one is over. I guess this is maybe covering, because you're saying like, well, maybe it's updated. Well, maybe this is how they cover it, because it says over 1 in 5 youth ages 13 to 18, either currently or at some point during their life, have had a serious debilitating mental illness. So, I mean, wow. It's like, I just think about, because you're asking about the numbers, and I'm thinking about the numbers. I'm like, we know 5 kids that are 13 from 18. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But you can just look around. I mean, where I come from, in my position, it's like, it's juveniles. And you can kind of tell by just taking a glance at some of them, and it's like, oh, maybe, he might need some help. Because it's pretty obvious, And I think sometimes, like let's say our parents, like they don't want to admit that sometimes kids have a problem, so they keep it quiet. But that's probably the worst thing that they can do, because they need to get that help, because who knows what they can do. They can snap. They could, do something to themselves, do something to somebody else. So it's like, my thing is, if you do know somebody, or a kid or teenager that's having issues, you need to report it. Get some help, because you never know what can happen, especially with these young kids. But that's to your point. What you're talking about. Social things.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
social,
Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. So that's kind of to your point. Should it be different? Should it be more? Because now there's all these issues with body shaming. That's the biggest thing with Instagram right now, is that they're getting on the
That's why more and more filters are coming out every day, man. So they won't. So they don't
want to see the panza. Oh. But yeah, no, but it makes a lot of sense, because all these social sites, Instagram and Snapchat, like, man, I've heard of a lot of kids getting in trouble because of Snapchat.
Yeah, I heard it too.
Because they're sending stuff, because you know how they always say, well, it's a snap, it'll go away. No, it won't. They're gonna come back. It's gonna come back. And 5 years down the road, you're like, what the fuck? Where'd that come from?
That's supposed to be in the cloud.
Yeah, it's in the cloud, and
it is in the cloud,
and it rained. Yeah. Oh my God! But yeah, let's see. So the last one here says about 1 in 25 U.S. adults lives with a serious mental illness such as schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, or major depression. So could be a lot of things. What causes mental illness? Experiences related to other ongoing chronic medical conditions such as cancer, diabetes, biological factors or chemical imbalances in the brain. It's like you're saying, CTE. That could be, major part. Use of alcohol, drugs, having feelings of loneliness or isolation. So,
those are all the causes. Is that what you?
Those could be causes because they says there's no single cause for mental illness. There's different things. You can be in a car wreck. I know one of the examples they gave was being in a car wreck, and that being affected. Actually, that, to be honest, that I'm not ready to talk about it, but that's affected me. And when the time comes, I'll share that story with everybody. But it's real. It's not something, to where I'm like, you know what, I can't take it. And, I guess, get out of this world type thing. It wasn't that heavy, but it was enough to, maybe cause a little depression and change in attitude and eating and, being very aggressive at times. And it's like, so those are the type of things that I went through. And then most recently, and especially with my mom and dad, now that they're passed away, I know, your dad passed away as well, but did you remember any feelings, or did you have, what were your thoughts once that happened, and then it's like here one day and then he's not here? Did you have any issues with that?
No, not right at all. Not right off the, right at the moment. Maybe a couple months down the road, you start thinking about, what you could have done different.
Yeah.
Not to save them, but just different as communication wise,
right.
and stuff like that.
While they're still while he was still here, like things you could have said to him,
and because it just happened, and is something that it happens. It just happened, and you're not ready for.
Yeah, but I think that's the thing too. Is like when you're not expecting it,
it's harder.
It's harder. It's definitely harder because I know with my dad, we kind of knew, we just didn't know it was gonna be that fast. So then when it happens, it's like, what the fuck what the fuck just happened? I was just talking to him yesterday, and that's how it was. That's basically how it was. Like he was in the hospital, talked to him, was it Sunday night or something like that? And I go to work on Monday, and next thing you know, they're like, you need to get here fast. I'm like, oh shit, and it was just like that. But I can remember, and then especially with my mom, and then my mom, 8-9 months later, and it's kind of like, and all I was getting was like, how are you handling it? Like, how did you handle? Like, how did I handle? I don't know. I really don't know, because you lose your dad, and then you lose your mom. I mean, for myself, what I'm talking about, it's like, man, I thought I was kind of getting better, and now I'm just right back where I was before. And it's tough, and we're talking about, which is considered, because I'm sure at one point maybe it was a little depression, because of your attitude change, and when you're not eating, and everybody's like, why are you so angry? And it was like that. It was like from one moment to the next, it was like, hey, how you doing? The next one was it was like, wow. So for me, I know that it was serious, going through that, and then having to go through it again, 8 or 9 months later. And I don't know how I handled it, because that's all everybody was just asking. How did you handle it? Like, how you lost both your parents within a year? It's like, I don't know. I don't know what I did, but I did it, And there's people out there that maybe can't handle stuff like that, I think, unfortunately, a lot of times people think of, they think of mental illness, and they think of, I think my biggest thing was like, oh, mental illness, and, they picked a gun up and they went and shot up a school. Like, that's obviously part of it. But, you're talking about people who get depressed and start doing drugs and start drinking alcohol, and then it gets worse. Or maybe they might do something to themselves, So there's different angles, to look at. Like, I don't think I've ever known anyone that's committed suicide.
I've heard of people that done it.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know them personally.
Right.
But I've heard of a couple of people that have.
Yeah. Yeah, personally. Yeah, like I can't say that personally I've known someone, but of course you hear things, and I know that there was a while back there was people that I worked with, and there was one particular person that it was like, one day they were there, and then the next moment you're like, what? They did what? And this person was just like, so I said I didn't know anybody personally, but yeah, but it's been about 10 years, since it happened. But this person was like, would see you, and it was just like, hey, how's it going? Hey, blah, blah, blah. And they were just happy-go-lucky. Everything was bright. There was no sadness, no nothing. And one moment to the next, it's like, he's not there. It's like, what? So that's what mental illness is, like, because you don't know what people are going through. They could be happy and portray themselves as one way, and then next thing you know, it's like, wow, we're not there no more. So I don't know. Like that's, to me, that's the only real like I said, it's been about 10 years, so that was the only person that I really knew that was obviously going through something, and then all of a sudden it's like, boop, gone.
I think my belief, I guess you could say, is that I think we all suffer from a little bit of mental, stress or whatever, however you want to call it. I think some people just handle it different than others.
That's true. I think that's true.
And I think some people just don't know how to handle it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And it is hard. It's hard for some people, man. And then some people just go about their day like they already know it's there, and what else can they do about it? Right. It's gonna be there no matter what.
Yeah. Now, one of the things that you were wanting to bring up or talk about was the PTSD. So that's obviously a big
major one. Major
disorder, and mainly because you said that it's not only in people who are in the armed forces. It's everything. And then that was your thing, right? That's what you were talking about, how a lot of people want to believe that, it's just people who are in the army or people who went to war, and they're people like, well, no, it could be anything.
It could be anything.
It could be anything. There's also a list here for events that can lead to PTSD. So serious accidents, physical or sexual assault, abuse, including childhood or domestic abuse, exposure to traumatic events at work. We know what that means. Serious health problems such as being admitted to intensive care, childbirth experiences such as losing a baby, the death of someone close to you, war and conflict, and torture. So PTSD develops in 1 in 3 people who experience severe trauma. Do you feel that maybe at one point you went through like a sort of PTSD thing, or are you going through something like that?
I don't know if I've ever witnessed. Maybe I experienced, maybe subconsciously, something that I didn't know. Could have at the time that caused it, but subconsciously my conscience is like, hey, this is shit. Right. It's not no joke.
Yeah. That's when you realize that.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Like you're going through some shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My thing was whatever it was that I went through, but so how do you feel you handled it?
I don't, man. I go through stuff every day.
It's still ongoing.
I go through stuff every day. Overthink everything.
Anxiety. You think you have a lot of anxiety?
I have a lot of anxiety.
Do you think, how does it affect, like, maybe not so much work, like, but how does it affect, like, your sleep? How does it affect, like, the things that you do? during
it
the day?
It doesn't, because I've had anxiety for almost over 20 years, dude. I started getting it when I was in my 20s, my early 20s.
Yeah.
You know, and when I found out what it was, that's when I realized that, okay, this is this. Every time I have anxiety, I just feel like, I mean, it's gonna go away.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna go away. You know.
So you didn't do anything to.
There's nothing you can do.
You just kind of had to write it out.
You just gotta write it out, because it's a thought process. It's something that. It's a thought process. It's all in your mind. You just start overthinking, and that's how you get anxiety. Anxiety is like you're just nervous about something that you're thinking about. That's maybe it's not even. That's probably just irrelevant. Right. It could be anything, man.
Something small, even
something small, but you're just over like something as little as leaving the coffee pot on.
Yeah.
You know. Something as little as that. Yes, an iron that you probably didn't even iron clothes that day, and you're over here thinking, damn, did I leave the iron on?
All day long.
Yeah.
You're like, shit.
You know, anything, man. I always have a problem with locking, like, thinking I didn't lock the door.
Yeah.
So there's times where I'll leave the house. I'll go down the block.
No way.
And turn all the way back because I think I didn't lock the door.
Yeah, yeah.
You know. And if I don't check, if I don't do it, if I just go about my day, I'll be somewhere and I'll be like, damn,
that's all you'll be thinking about.
This, what if somebody's this? What if something this happened? What if this? You just start all these scenarios, you know.
Right.
And I guess that's like a little form of anxiety right there. But it's not. Those are just examples.
Right.
I'm not really telling you what I really go through because that's none of y'all's business.
Hey, like I said, shit. I ain't ready to share my shit. And that's the thing. Is like everybody's going through something. Like you said, everybody's going through something, and no matter what it is, it could be something. Could it be? What do they call that when people? Jeez, man. Now there goes my brain. I think my brain's just stopped working. It doesn't work anymore. But like when people have to do things like in threes, or like Sheldon from what do you call it? He always has to do things in threes. He's all penny, penny, penny. Like people who do that, or people, or God, what's the word? Not anal. They're not anal about
OCD.
it. OCD. God damn it, man. I couldn't think about it. Shit, I'm OCD about remembering OCD. Shit. But yeah, I wonder if that could be part of an illness, like a mental illness. Because there's not. What can you take for that? Like, you can't really take anything for it, right?
It can be considered as, obsessive compulsive disorder.
Right.
That's what that is.
Yeah. So it's like, you're constantly, like, you're either constantly washing your hands, or you're constantly turning off the lights, or checking for the lights, or like, it's kind of weird. I've seen it around the house, unfortunately. But I think, you know what? You're right, dude. I think we all do it, even if it's just real small. Like, I think everybody has OCD too, because there's a certain way I take a bath, right? Mm-hmm. There's a certain thing, there's certain way that I get, I do this, and then I do that, and then I do this, and then when I get in the bathtub, I turn the water on, and then I do this, and then I do that, and then it's like every single time I take a fucking bath, it's the same thing. So I think in a sense, like we all have some sort of OCD about everything. Do you notice that? Do you ever notice?
Oh, yes.
Because I never noticed it. In the first time that I noticed it for myself was taking a bath. Mm-hmm. Because I noticed, I'm like, I do the same fucking thing every time I take a bath. To the T. Like, nothing's different. Everything's the same. The way I turn the water on, the way I make sure that the things are covered, make sure that the air's not coming in, make sure I'm like, what? When did this shit start? Like, how long have I been doing this shit? So, man, yeah, I think, you notice things that you, like what?
I can't have, my hands can't be dirty for a long period of time.
Oh, yeah?
Like, if I'm cooking and I have to put my hand in, like, the meat.
Yeah.
I'm not done mixing the meat, I'll still wash my hands and then go back and do it again. And then, or after every time I take my hands out, I have to wash them.
Right.
and
Right.
then go back and do it.
Yeah.
Do that. There's also when I'm eating. Let's say I get a hamburger with fries. I'll eat my fries first, all the time.
No way.
Yeah,
All of them.
all of them.
What? Don't put them in the burger?
Nope.
No.
I'll eat my fries first, and then I'll eat the burger.
I'm trying to think of you know what, when you brought that up, bringing that up about cooking food, I think I do that too, because I notice that I go through a shit ton of napkins if I'm cooking something, because I'm always washing my hands.
Uh-huh.
If I'm doing one thing, and man, that's probably exactly what you do. It's like if I'm doing one thing and then I'll be like, oh shit, and then I'll go and I wash my hands and I get a napkin and I'll put it, and then by the time I turn around, there's like 4 napkins there. I'm like, oh shit. Like, you just don't realize you're doing it.
I realize I'm doing it.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
So a curious question. Like, we all have that. I mean, we all have an internal voice, right? We all have the voice that's in our mind that's constantly going. Do you have, or have you ever noticed that you have a song that goes in your head,
Like
or plays in your head? Maybe not a theme song, but
no, like walk up music or something.
yeah, like I can honestly say or admit that I'll have a song in my head as soon as I wake up.
Sometimes, not all the time. There's some times where I'll wake up and I'll have a song in my head, but not all the time.
For me, like it's constantly running. Like
Same song though?
It's different songs, but ask me what they were, I couldn't tell you.
Mem.
Go with him. But that's true, though. I mean, I notice that I wake up, there's a song in my head, and it stays in my head until I'm doing everything. I'm getting everything ready. Like when the boys getting ready, the boys ready for school. It's just there. It's just constantly. But the weird thing about it, by the time I get to work, the song's gone, and I couldn't tell you what it was.
And then you can't think of it again.
No,
right? You can't think of it
because
again.
it's not the same song every day. It's always different. And I mean, I don't know. Could that be a form of mental illness? Like, I think the reason I thought about it, I'm sorry I cut you off, but the reason I thought about it is because I was like, okay, so we have these mental voices in our head, right? How often do we like listen to that voice or that thought, and actually either in our mind, like, oh yeah, you're right, and then you know what I'm talking about? Like, do you ever feel that too? Like, I know I feel it.
I don't think I've ever felt that. No.
How do things like flow in your mind? Like, besides maybe that stuff that maybe you're worrying about, like throughout the day, like besides sex, like, you know what I'm saying?
Sally
like,
doesn't pump into my head as much anymore. Yeah.
Because it's not in your algorithm.
It's not in the algorithm now that it is.
I'll send you a couple things so you can so they can pop up on your reel.
It does. I just try to do the same thing every day, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like monotonous? You know the word monotonous, like when you're doing the same thing over and over and over.
Like Groundhog Day?
Well, so to speak, yeah. Because you go to work and you do the same thing every day.
Pretty much. You go to work, same, come
SSD.
home, go to sleep.
SSDD, right?
Uh-huh.
Same shit, different day.
Same shit every day.
I mean, I beginning to think that you are correct, because it's just stuff that people go through every day, but it's not stuff that they talk about.
Mm.
And sometimes maybe they do need to talk it out. I know maybe sometimes I need to talk about stuff, but I have found, and I don't know how you, like, sometimes if I'm just driving by myself and I have music on, that clears my mind more than anything. But getting to that point, because then I can't figure out what I want to listen to, and then I'm talking to myself and I'm like, no, I just heard that. I don't want to listen to that. I was like, no, I don't feel like listening. Like, I'm literally arguing with myself in my head about what music I want to hear.
And with me, it's different because I rarely listen to music on the way on, like, during the week. On the weekdays, I'm always listening to sports talk. So I guess that kind of like takes my mind off a lot of stuff too.
So that's your like your safety. Well, you know what I'm saying. I
guess you could say
because that gets you.
You know, it doesn't. It's like to me, sports is probably like the only thing left in the world that people won't fight about. I mean, they will. I mean, obviously, I won't fight about it.
What is going on in women's college basketball? Jesus.
But yeah, I mean, listening to sports is my. I guess you say like
when you get to that point, it's
my happy place.
Your happy place.
My happy place. Like Happy Gilmore. Exactly. Like Happy Gilmore. That's my happy place, man.
Yeah, mine has a woman in lacy underwear too. That's my happy place.
with the kiss mask, the Gene Simmons mask.
Oh, but yeah, there's so many, I know we're not talking about like as at least for us because we are dealing with things, but we're not talking about heavy stuff like because there's other people that obviously go through more heavier shit than what we're talking about. And it's hard. Like I don't, I see it a lot, or you think you see it a lot with homeless people. Because when you're driving down the street and driving down Military and there's that dude, what is he doing? He's talking to himself,
and not silently either.
Oh yeah, no, he's letting everybody know what's going on.
Know.
And somebody, I think it was Boston or somebody. He just had, because he's in the car, he's got his phone, he's not paying attention to what's going on, and I guess he just happened to look up and he saw the guy because we're at a light, and he could kind of hear the guy yelling, and and he's like, "Dad, what's that guy yelling? Why is he yelling?" I said, I don't know, son. He's maybe he just needs help, and he's like, "Well, I hope he's not yelling at me." And I'm like, "Well, he might. I don't know, son. We might have to get out of here." We might have to get out of here pretty fast because who knows what he's yelling at. But I've seen videos, and a lot of videos. I mean, I don't know. I'm just thinking maybe they're in New York because usually it's in a subway or something, or even out in the street. Like these homeless people, they're having some sort of mental thing, and they just wail on people.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Have you seen those videos? Like somebody just standing there. And the guy's just walking, and all of a sudden he'll just roundhouse and bam! And I'm like, what is so? Like, I mean, I don't know how. Do you? I mean, and I know it sucks to think this way, but do you think that there is a lot of mental illness in homeless people, or do you think that maybe that's just how they think they should act? That's a pretty bad question. I know.
That's not a question for me to answer.
Yeah,
I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, but but I'm saying, I mean, I know it's not a good question. It's a pretty dumb question, but that's what I think about, and I'm like, well, maybe these people, maybe some of them do need help. We don't know what they go through. We don't know what they're doing, but it's like, how do you get them help? I don't think I've seen, this is the most homeless people that I've ever seen out in the streets, homeless. Like I think that COVID had a lot to do with it, because think about COVID, right? Think about them, or maybe they had a job, maybe they were working. COVID comes, wipes everybody out, kills hundreds of thousands of people. Businesses suffer. They have to let people go, whatever they're doing. And now they're out in the street because they couldn't pay for their house or whatever. And I think that COVID had a lot to do with the amount of homeless people that are here in San Antonio. And it's like, how do you get them help?
I mean, a lot of times they don't want help.
Well, true. That's very true. So it's like, I don't know. It's pretty, like I said, we're probably just scratching the surface of, the types of mental illnesses that are out there. So if you know anybody, or, it's hard. Like, you just got to talk to people sometimes. You think, like, if you know somebody's going through some shit, like, just talk to them. Like, try and be positive. And
a sad thing about that too is, you know, even if you try to go to like for professional help, you know, medical wise,
Yeah.
like a lot of they won't like your insurance don't cover it.
Really?
Yeah, it doesn't cover that stuff, man.
So that's stuff you got to pay out of pocket.
Pretty much.
Really?
From what I heard, I could be wrong.
Well, that could keep a lot of people out.
Wrong.
Yeah, that could change a lot of people's minds. They're like, well, fuck, I don't want to pay $500 a session.
That's exactly. So they just stay.
I just automatically thought that insurance just covered all that.
No, man.
So not every insurance.
I don't think so. From what I've heard, I don't know. I could be wrong. Like I said, don't quote me.
It's quoted. Sorry, Kranky said it. He's. But no, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just who you work for. I mean, because I know where I'm at. They're like selling that all the time. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, we've got, professionals and this and that, and so man. So yeah, if like I said, we just scratched the surface, talking about it, but it's like, I guess it's kind of to say that you're not alone, as far as like, if you think in your mind, if you think, I guess that
maybe that's the best way to help somebody is by telling them that you're not the only one that's going through it.
Yeah.
I believe everybody's going through it.
Yeah.
To a certain extent.
I believe you.
I believe the generation, the younger generation, the Z's, I guess the people like in their like mid-20s and younger, all they do is smoke weed, man. That's all they do, dude.
That's true.
And that weed nowadays isn't like the weed in the 70s and 60s. This weed is there to mess up your mind.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, I believe it. Because so just this past weekend, I had heard about, somebody was talking about weed and they were like, "Oh no, this weed's it's not the same." I'm like, "Well, what do you mean? Like, when you smoke weed, like, doesn't it kind of bring you down or just mellow you out?"
It was like mellow you out, give you the munchies,
give you the
giggles,
get scored.
It doesn't do that no more, man.
Right?
It's more because it's I guess what was it back in the day, like a downer, I guess you would say.
Yeah, or a downer.
Right.
That's what I would think. That was what I was thinking until I talked to whoever I talked to, and they said, "Oh no, this one lifts you up." And I said, "What?"
And that's what I'm saying.
I said, "What do you mean?" And they said, "Yeah, it doesn't bring you down anymore. Now it gives you energy." I'm like, "What the?"
That's not weed, man.
Yeah, and I said, "Well, is there crack in there? Like, what are they putting in this shit?"
That's not weed.
So then that's what they said. They're like, "Oh yeah, no, it picks you up now." I'm like, "What?"
No, that's not. That's what I'm saying. It's different nowadays, and it's more potent, man.
Yeah,
it's there to.
Oh, I smelled it.
It smells ugly too. It smells ugly, man.
Skunky, man.
God, it's an ugly smell.
It smelled like a really bad Dos Equis.
If you drive by a park, you'll smell it because that's all they do at the park.
Anywhere.
Okay, anywhere.
Anywhere, yes. Not on the south side.
Yes, not just on the south side of the west side.
It happens on the west side too, and the north side. I'll have you know that more kids get arrested on the north side for drug possession than anything else.
It's because the south side know how to hide it. That's why.
Oh, they're so stupid on the north side. They're so dumb. They don't think they're gonna get in trouble. No, just walking out in the street with it and shit.
Nope. South side have very many compartments. Many compartments.
This is that can with the yes. Opening on the bottom. It looks like a display, but there's that's where it is. Oh my God! Well, man, it's I guess we are going again. We're all going through something. There's something that I guess the best thing to try and do as well is like just kind of be there for them, like because we don't all know what everybody's going through. We don't know how deep they are inside of it, but you could probably look at somebody and say they're going through something, because you'll see it on their face and all that.
But I think you said it too when you were talking about the PTSD. You were trying to give examples of what causes it. You said something about isolation, like being an isolated.
Let me see.
See if you remember that part.
It was
rewind the tape. We'll go back to what you said.
Rewind it. Let's see. PTSD. Where'd it go? Yeah, it was a series of what did they call them? Damn. Give me a second here.
Like traumatic.
Yeah, I mean, it's recurrent, unwanted, distressing memories of the traumatic event, reliving the traumatic event as if it was happening again, upsetting dreams or nightmares about the event. Yeah. Changes in mood. And that's kind of like what I was going through with all that. It was like, wow. Because you kind of don't want to get put into that, right? You don't want to start thinking that, well, shit, there's something wrong with me, and what am I gonna do? It's like
too late.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, here it is, right here. Hold on, give me a second. Serious road accidents, violent personal assaults, such as sexual assault, robbery, mugging, serious health problems, childbirth. Well, there was a longer list here. I don't know where it went. Oh, here we go. Torture, war, conflict, death of someone there close to you, traumatic events at work, serious health problems, intensive care.
Oh, I must have heard
serious
something for that.
Yeah, man, there was that voice in your head.
there it goes. Probably what it was,
like,
man.
Oh, what's going on with Kranky? But no, man. I mean, I definitely agree with you. Everybody's going through something, and it's like that's why and for me personally, man, I think that's why people get upset with me is because I don't really take anything seriously, because you don't know how other people, like, how their day's going. Maybe they're having a sucky day, like I stopped at a stop sign the other day. And I was going to tell this as my quick shot, but I'll say it right now. So I was at a 4-way stop, and I was basically next in the rotation, so to speak. But the car to the left of me decided, well, they're going to cut, right? So when I start inching forward, they just take off. So they go in front of me. And I'm looking at it wasn't the driver, it was a passenger. And as they're going in front of me, he's looking at me and he's shaking his head like it was your fault. Like it was my fault. I'm like, so what could I have done? I could have honked at him. I could have threw the finger. I could have this. So I just waved to him. Like, what?
The rule is the person to your, if y'all all get at the same time, right?
Yeah.
It's the person to the right that goes first.
That's what I remember.
So what is that? Is that clockwise, counterclockwise?
So that would be counterclockwise.
Counterclockwise.
So it would be, if you're at a stop sign, it would be to the right, forward, and then left. But I also thought I know it's right because that's what I thought of. That was my first thought. I said, yeah, it's supposed to be the person on the right goes. So basically it goes in a counterclockwise motion, and that way you don't worry about who's going next.
Yeah, but that's if you get there at the same time.
Aha! See? Yeah.
But now if you're first and there's, second, then that's how it goes. The first one goes.
Exactly. Well, that's what happened was the person to the right and the person in front of me got there at the same time. Mm-hmm. And then I got there, and then the car to the left of me got there. So it was up to those two people to decide who was going to go first. But this jackass over here wanted to try, he takes off, and they're blaming me. And I'm like, just waving at him. Like, man, I could have honked at him. I could have thrown the finger. But I was like, you know what? Whatever, man.
Well, I should say Texas law states, Texas drivers. I don't know how they do it in California.
What does it say in California? What is it?
I don't know how they do it over there.
Oh, you know what? I heard a statement today. We're going off topic. So anyway,
you want to finish off this topic?
Mental illness. Talk to people. Don't be upset with people. You don't know what they're going through. Just kind of bear with them. If they need help, talk to them. Because everybody's going through something, like Kranky said, and I really believe that now. So, okay, so we're done with that. So here we go. So I heard a comment.
On a lighter note.
Here's the lighter side. So I heard a comment today where this person was from California, and they said that Latinas from Texas are not as pretty as Latinas from California.
I mean, what are they judging, basing that off of?
They're saying that, well, and they came from California to San Antonio, so I don't think they've lived anywhere else but San Antonio, besides California and then San Antonio. But they based it off the fact that a lot of the women don't wear makeup.
Over there?
No, here.
Oh, here?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Like basically they don't get dressed up and, like, have you gone to Sam? Have you gone to Walmart? You'll see it. Yeah, it's there. So like my quick thought was I kind of agreed with them, but then I was like, well, you can't automatically say that Texas has ugly women or San Antonio has ugly women. You know what I'm saying?
That's the thing with California, man. Is they're over here trying to say everything from California is better than Texas, but yet they want to come live over here.
Right.
Yeah, so In-N-Out's better than Whataburger according to them. What else? What else is now the women are better than they know?
And now they're saying the women are better.
And now they're saying the women. But the way I see it, the way I always told everybody is, if you grow up, it was like back in the 80s when they had the Pepsi Coke challenge. If you grew up drinking Coke, you're gonna like Coke more than you like Pepsi.
Right.
If you grew up eating Whataburger, you're gonna like Whataburger more than In-N-Out.
Right.
Vice versa.
Yeah.
If you grew up liking the girls in California, you're not gonna like the girls in Texas. That's the way it is.
The weird thing was that this came from a woman.
Was she from California?
She's from California.
Well, there you go. You just answered your own question.
Yeah. Yeah, I was kind of taken aback by that, and I'm like, well, what do you mean? I was like, because why? Like, what is it? And she said that because they don't get dressed up, like they don't put makeup on, and they don't try and look good, or put a face
like
on.
just to go anywhere.
I'm like,
was that what they do in California? Just to go to the convenience store? They freaking get
it's
all
California, They like, yeah, duh.
But they got more to compete with over there than over, because you know how the saying goes that women don't look good for guys.
They look
good. They look
for
good
other,
for other women to better.
They dress up for other women.
Yes, because they want to be better than what that other.
Yeah, that's right. For us. I think you brought that up, didn't you? At one point.
At one point.
Yeah, you did. It's true. But it was a true statement.
That's true. They don't dress up for us. They dress up for us, for the women. Not because they want to attract women, but because they want to see if they're better looking than that woman.
They're not all lesbianas. But yeah. But no, you're right.
And over there in California, you got everything to compete with, though. You got Dr. 90210 over there just slicing and dicing, making all these Barbie dolls over there.
Dexter over there slicing and dicing and have you ever seen that show? I never saw it.
Dexter.
Did you?
It was good.
Was it in California?
Was it? I don't remember.
I don't even know. I actually haven't even seen one episode of that movie.
But he was a vigilante. That's what he was, Dexter.
So he would get people back.
He would get justice in his own way.
So he was a vigilante.
He was a vigilante.
Wow.
Yes.
No, I never seen. I never saw.
It's good, man. I mean, the first few seasons were good. Then, as like every show, once it gets towards the end of the season,
it's like
it died down.
Yeah. So, what do you think, people? Should we correct this Californian? What do you think about the Latina population in San Antonio and Texas? That's going to bring a lot of debate. There'll be a lot of people going to be pissed off if they hear that shit.
Yeah.
But they
people get pissed off just for Whataburger and In-N-Out. Imagine about this, dude. I'm gonna tell you the truth though. I don't think Whataburger is the same ever since it left Texas. Ever since it what is it? How do you say it?
Expanded?
Expanded outside of Texas, and ever since they sold it.
Yeah.
Ever since they sold it to that company in Chicago.
Really?
It's not the same. It's not the same.
You don't think so, huh?
No.
I don't know. Maybe because in my trials and tribulations with Whataburger, it's a hit and miss now.
That's what I'm saying.
Because there's some days where I've eaten it and I'm like, God damn, it's fucking like
hit
just
the spot.
chowed down on
It
that
smacks.
fucking burger. Yeah, no cap, no cap. But yeah, there's some days that shit, man. I'll eat that fucking burger in no time. I'm like, God damn, it's good. And there are other days it's like, it's like, nope, didn't hit.
No.
But oh man, but it's like, in your opinion, you've had both.
Yeah, I've had both.
What would you rather have?
The Texas women.
Let's talk about Whataburger. Bazinga! Yeah, screw those California women. Give me a nice little gordita from Texas. But yeah, man. Well, I guess we'll see. We'll see how many people want to argue about that.
You gotta. I mean, it's like they order the Whataburger and they just get what's off the menu.
Yeah.
You gotta dress your Whataburger up. Just like the women gotta dress to look good. You got Whataburgers gotta be dressed up to be.
Make it.
Yes, throw some jalapenos in there. Throw some bacon in there.
Oh, bacon. Yeah. See, they even just adding bacon changes everything.
It's gonna change everything.
Same thing. Just put some lipstick on. Just changes everything.
Get those eyelashes. And
yeah, man. Wow, she needs something else.
You gotta put a filter on that Whataburger.
I don't know what it needs. Bacon.
A bacon filter. And
then it'll be hot and delicious. So, a couple of other things. So, just to touch on one real quick. I don't know. Again, like it's always for me. I don't know why it bothers me so much, but apparently Bob Saget's wife, Kranky mentioned her name before we started recording, so I don't remember her name. But basically, Bob Saget passed away, right, in January of 2022. And she's getting some shit because apparently she's moved on and she's got a new boyfriend. And everybody's like, oh, it's too soon. And I'm like, it's been 2 years. Is that not enough time? And really, who the fuck cares? It's her life.
Obviously, these people that want to get into
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, why do you have to get into that business? It's not your life. If you want to wait 5 years, wait 5 years. She waited 2 years. I think that's enough. Don't you think?
Especially at her age. I mean,
Yeah,
she's not gaining. She's not gaining. She's
That's
younger.
a point. Yeah, that's a point you brought up because she was 40.
She's 44.
She's 44, and Bob Saget was already
66
in his 60s.
66.
So
60s.
that's a big gap, man.
So she was 42 basically when he passed away.
Yeah,
42.
So he was already 64.
64.
So I mean, come on, why not?
No, he was 66 when he passed away.
So then he would have been 68.
He would have been 68.
Oh, okay. So then, well, yeah. So 66. But I mean, again, I don't know why but it's like, mind your fucking business, man. Let the lady live. Like she had a good she had a good life with him. He passed away, unexpectedly, of course. But they would still be together. But why are you gonna give her shit for moving on? It's been 2 years.
2 years.
Come on, man, let her go.
I mean, some people grieve longer than others. Other people
Yeah.
don't.
I mean, everybody's different. I don't know. It just depends on the person. Just depends on the person.
You never know that maybe she's still grieving. Maybe this is just a rebound.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It could be a rebound.
I know what you're saying. Oh, man. So another big thing coming up tomorrow. the one thing that the fucking Congress worries about more than anything else in the world or the United States is fucking TikTok.
Worries more than Texas?
Yeah. or school shootings or whatever, insurrection, all that shit, not to get political, but I mean, come on. There's a shit ton of other stuff you can be worried about.
Yes.
Besides trying to shut TikTok down. And that vote is happening tomorrow on Wednesday. And I don't know, man. I guess we got to say, like, are we not going to have TikTok anymore?
Are we going to be like in Cable Guy when
when it goes off?
No, when they're all watching TV for the verdict of standing that guy, Ben Stiller's character, and all of a sudden they never get to hear it. That's gonna be us tomorrow, like, huh?
Yeah, really. And then snow,
and then AT&T's gonna go down again.
Oh shit, that's another thing. But let me talk about this real quick. Okay, so TikTok, yeah. So tomorrow there's a vote. I don't know, man. Do you think? That's people's livelihoods because a lot of people
make money
off of that, and
maybe they're just jealous. Maybe, are they able to tax them on it?
If they could, they probably would.
That's probably why they want to shut it down, because they can't tax them on it.
They're not taking part of the pie.
They're
not getting part of the pie.
It's all about money. Yeah. Here in freaking in the United States, man.
Fucking Ted Cruz. Did you hear about that?
No.
Right here. So he wants to. They want to pass something in the Congress that has to do with the NCAA and the NIL that will prevent people from trying to sue the NCAA. Because of these antitrust lawsuits and how the NIL. So basically, they want to get involved because they don't like the fact that some of these kids are making a shit ton of money. That's all it is.
You know what
comes down to it.
And you know what's going to happen if they win that law, or if that passes or whatever? Nobody's going to want to come to Texas colleges, and Texas colleges are going to. And we're going to have to be our own conference. All Texas colleges are going to be.
You were just going to succeed.
It's going to go back to the Southwest Conference back in the old days. God. Because nobody's going to want to come play here.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to lose out. Oklahoma's going to flourish. All those other states.
All these kids that are here, all the talent here in Texas, they're going to go to different colleges out of state.
But why do they have to fucking get involved, dude?
Because they want a piece of that pie.
They want some hair pie, man. That's all they want. They want a piece of that hair pie. Yeah. Like, come on, man. Why do you got to get involved in that shit? Like, getting involved with TikTok. They're getting involved with guys' money. The problem I have with the NIL is, okay, it sucks that there's players that are making a shit ton more than somebody else. Let's say an offensive lineman. Is he going to make as much money as a fucking quarterback or a wide receiver or...
If he's the blind side... If he's the blind side offensive lineman, right. they make the most out of all the offensive linemen.
Yeah, well, see, and that's what I'm saying. It's like in some ways they should find ways to regulate that. Don't you think? Or you think just let them take their fucking money and they're good? Like, dude, these kids are making millions of dollars already. Caitlin Clark, even, and I'm an advocate for her, but she's making a shit ton of money now.
And I heard that a lot of these women, NBA players, college sports players, we'll say basketball, because they're making a lot more in college than they would if they go to the WNBA.
And they were talking about that, and I was like, well, why should Caitlin Clark go to the NBA?
WNBA.
She could stay another year.
No, she can't. She's done.
Well, she said no, but she could have.
No, her fifth year eligibility. She never got. She was post COVID thing, so she didn't get the 5-year eligibility, the extra year eligibility.
So I thought we talked about that.
No,
didn't I? No. So then she can't. Well, she already declared for the WNBA anyway. But I'm saying I thought she had another year. But
I don't know, because this is her senior year, and if you go back 4 years, it's 2020.
Or unless you're,
so
what's his name, and you're there for 9 years. Yeah. How many years ago did he have to go to college for like 2 years, classes for 2 years? But yeah, he got to play for 7 more. Like, come on, man. But that's an NCAA thing, and that's how they work everything out, and especially with COVID. But now we're past that. So a lot of these kids. But anyway, so that's like, okay, Congress wants to get Congress wants to get into it with TikTok. Congress wants to get into it with the NIL, which is the name, image, likeness thing, where these college players are making millions of fucking dollars off of their face, apparently. But the last thing I wanted to talk about. So this woman in Florida, of all places, right? Florida. Her child's school is banning her from dropping off her kid, and this is a private Christian school in Florida, because she's advertising her OnlyFans on the back of the family van.
How do you know it's hers?
Well,
what if it's just a sticker?
Well, what if you scan it?
That's what I'm saying. So how do you know it's hers? Actually, somebody scanned it. So somebody scanned it and know it's her OnlyFans.
Well, the picture that I saw when they blurred out the name, so I didn't see what like her, at name or whatever was, but it said OnlyFans and then it had the at underneath, but they blurred it out, so I didn't know what it was. But somebody saw it and said, "Oh, I wonder what this is." And let me go to onlyfans.com/ big boobs 27, and they see it. And
Big boobs McGee.
Yeah, tits McGee. And now they're like, "Oh my God, I can't unsee that. Let me go back and look at it again."
Let me go squeal on her. Wait, let me donate.
Hold on.
Let me tip her first.
I would tip you more, but 20%. So, I mean, I don't know. Another thing, I read it and then I'm kind of thinking, and it's like, well, can you see both sides? Okay, can you see the school side and seeing, well, we don't need this, coming into our parking lot and where everybody can see it. Should she be showing this and whatever? And then you see the other side. It's like, what is she thinking? Like, we're talking about making money, right? So why not? She's advertising. Maybe that's her livelihood, right? Maybe that's the way she makes money. I only saw her face, and she wasn't really that.
Well, then she needs to advertise.
She must have some big boobs or something, because I didn't see the rest of her. But I just thought it was funny, dude, because we were talking about how they do it on the side of the car for their Instagrams. Well, now this lady did it for OnlyFans. And then it's like, well, I don't know, man. What are your thoughts?
I mean, is that what everybody's going to start doing now? Is putting their OnlyFans label on?
If they're brave enough, let's put it this way then, because now they're putting themselves out there, and now everybody knows they can't hold down a real job. Nobody's going to want them to work there.
I've heard that side.
Yeah. Yeah, if they come out, and I mean, she's putting herself out there, so obviously either her husband makes a lot of money or she's making a lot of money, and she said, "Well, fuck it, I'm just gonna put it on my car and see what happens." Maybe she only had like a certain fan base, Well, what are they worried about? Are they worried about these kids?
Well, they all have phones, man.
I mean, how are you gonna stop them?
They all have phones. I mean, exactly. I mean, if it's not OnlyFans, it's gonna be something else.
Yeah, eventually.
I mean, the phones have Google. You can Google anything on your phone.
That's true, man. I mean, I just say it's a weird argument, because like, where do you stand? Like, do you stand with the school? Do you stand with her? But it's like, again, is it a moral thing?
I'm just the bystander, just likes to watch and see how it plays out.
I'm just eating my popcorn. Just want to see what happens.
I just want to see how it plays out.
Yeah, man. So yeah, there you go, man. I would be. I mean, but I see it. I guess I can see both sides, and I can see it on her side, but it's kind of like, do you really need to do that? Do you really need to advertise? Put yourself out there that much?
I mean, it's all about money, man. If that's the way she's gonna make her money, like you said, then she's got to find a way to make more.
Yeah. Well, the part of that ties into this TikTok that I saw, which, well, I don't know exactly what the lady sold or did. I don't think she was doing OnlyFans. I think she was doing some other stuff. But the TikTok made it seem like she was doing something because it says when I started my website and made enough money to pay for this house and the 60 acres around it or some shit like that. And like automatically I started thinking like, well, what the fuck is she doing? Is she doing OnlyFans? Like, so I don't know exactly what she was doing, but the fact that whatever she was doing, she was going through TikTok that was helping her make that money. Mm-hmm. And now she doesn't have to work. So her husband works, but she doesn't have to work. That's what made me think. I'm like, well, I wonder what she's doing. But no, I went to the website, and it's just kind of like a self-help thing, like, finding little things to do, like, do-it-yourself things, and you can do it online and make a ton of money and all that stuff. I was like, oh. I really thought she had an OnlyFans.
The side jobs, the side hustles.
Yeah, the side hustles.
The side hustles.
But apparently that's what it was, and but that again, and that ties into. Do you really think they'll shut TikTok down? Because now you're.
Well, what does the vote have to be? Like, so many.
It's got to be over. It's got to be. It just has to be more than one.
Like, who's voting on it? I mean, who's
everybody?
Like, who's everybody?
I don't know. Okay, so I don't know if this is in the House, which is different because there's like 400 or 500 of those people, right?
What is it? 500
and whatever.
What is it?
That's in the House though.
Oh, in the House.
But the Senate has, I don't know, 200 or 200 or something.
No, I don't know. So is the Senate then is voting on it?
I think so because it's a major vote.
See, this is where you need Louie, man, because Louie would have already found that.
Fucking Louie. He's over there on the beach.
I know. He doesn't have to worry about anybody.
Counting his 20%. But that ties into this vote. Like, would they actually vote to... That's unprecedented, dude. If they can find enough people to pass that bill, it's unprecedented. It's like they're shutting down, basically, a website. I mean, it could operate
so many
outside.
Yeah, so many websites out there. So many websites out there that are probably even worse than this.
Just don't shut down kink.com, please. Don't shut it down.
You're gonna shut down. I mean, if you shut down one, don't you guys shut them all down?
Well, that's the thing. It's like they're shutting it down, basically saying that it can't operate in the United States. You should still be able to operate outside because TikTok's not even from here. It's from Japan or China.
Well, I don't even know.
I think Louie, but no,
there you go.
But yeah, I think so. Because basically they're just voting to shut it down in the U.S. where nobody can use it. There's one state that doesn't have TikTok. Yeah, they don't have TikTok.
Who's that?
It's like Idaho or some shit, Montana, somebody up there north. Yeah, you can't use TikTok there. They banned it completely. So they probably looked at it and said, well, this might be a good idea if we just shut it down for the whole United States. Well, no, now you're messing with people's money. Whatever it is that they do, if they're on OnlyFans, if they have an Instagram page that they make money off of, if it's that dude that like has the treadmill and races like pool balls.
Yeah, I've seen that, dude.
It's like you're gonna mess with that dude's money, man. You're gonna mess with my Bigfoot stories. I can't go watch any more lives.
I can't watch no more WAP videos.
Yes, no more wet ass panzas.
No.
But I mean, I don't know, man.
So they want to shut? Okay, so obviously they're shutting down because it's bad. So,
well, that's what they think.
I mean, that's got to be their excuse.
Well, school shootings are bad too,
yes. But that's got to be their excuse, not their reason. Their excuse to shut it down is because it's bad. You know what else is bad? These are bad. But they still sell them, right?
You know how many different brands of fucking energy drinks there are out there? And they try and put a warning on there. Don't drink more than 3 a day. I think drinking one is enough. And here we are. And
it's sad because there's a lot of stuff that's bad here in the United States that A lot of foods that are bad here that are not banned, but there are banned in other countries.
Well, yeah. Think about the regulation. Like they're not regulating some stuff like they are in other countries. Like you said, like, oh well, it's not available in that country, but here we have it, and it's not regulated, so it's probably even worse than what it was. You know, like when fucking McDonald's was putting pink shit in their, you know,
chicken nuggets.
Yeah, everything. Like it was like, well, antibiotics and, you know, plumping everybody up. You know, that's why you had a bunch of fat kids when we were growing up. Everybody was eating fucking hamburgers and getting fat. Like, there was an epidemic. Like, it was like, come on, man. That's why they took away the humongous size and the biggie size and all that, because everybody was getting fat.
Yeah. I don't think that's the reason why everybody was getting fat. I think it was because they were buying more than one.
What do you want? A Big Mac?
Two Big Macs? Yeah, all right. Okay. Just hurry up because it's already midnight. Just hurry up and finish it.
Yeah, exactly. That's bad parenting.
Well, if you go to McDonald's right now, look what time it is right now.
It's 8, 7?
8 o'clock.
It's 8 o'clock.
Go to McDonald's right now. Anyone. Go to any fast food restaurant on the south side and go look at how long that line is in the drive-thru.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's why people are fat.
And you touched on that last week too.
You know,
you did. You brought it up. I'm like, uh-huh.
And it's not because it's because how late it is that they're eating. You know, because they don't want to cook.
Hey.
They wait until the wee hours of the night to go, especially in the summer because it's too hot to go get in the drive-thru when the sun's out. So they wait till like it's dark like this to go, and it's so late to eat. You eat so late, they fall asleep, and all that food just turns into sugar. All that sugar turns into fat.
Exactly.
And that's why people get fat.
Yeah. And remember, at least I can remember when McDonald's would close.
It was always 24 hours.
You think so?
Well, I think when we got into high school, that's when it became 24 hours.
Yeah, because I don't think it was open all the time.
I don't think so either.
And that's a problem too.
Well, not just McDonald's, everything closed.
Yeah, what I'm saying, there was nothing for you to eat.
There was nothing. Exactly.
There was no Pizza Hut. There was no Little Caesars. I mean, obviously they closed too. But I'm saying
they closed.
Yeah, they closed.
They closed.
You know, there wasn't. Whataburger wasn't open.
I think maybe the only thing open 24 hours Stop and Go.
Yeah,
Stop and Go is probably the only thing open 24
snacks. Yeah, because I can remember working at HEB. We had a bomb scare one time. It was the school. The store was about to close, and they called in a bomb scare. So they basically told everybody to get to the other side of the street, which is the other side of Sasamora right there. And we were all in front of the Whataburger. It was closed. It was like 11 o'clock.
Yeah,
I remember. I vividly remember seeing.
Whataburger was another one that was always 24 hours.
No,
I think one of the only ones that was 24 hours.
It was depend. I thought it depended because I don't know. I guess. Well, what do y'all? I mean, we can ask people out there too because I'm sure they have better memories. I know they have better memory than me because I don't remember shit.
Just unless you're 25 and below, because I knew that weed already took effect. Y'all got no memory whatsoever.
And then they're gonna go to McDonald's and
exactly.
I can get the 40-piece nugget. There's another thing. 40 fucking pieces of nuggets, really? Who needs that? Unless you're having a party, well, you know, of 30 people, 40 people, I don't know. Who needs 40 fucking nuggets?
Somebody needs it.
Or the value meal where you get like 4 hamburgers and 3 chicken McSpicies and 20 nuggets and fries. And I'm like, dude, people eat that shit all by themselves.
Oh, what happened to Taco Bell's Taco Sunday? You remember that?
Oh, that's
the
way
6-pack
gone,
for
dude.
like it was like not even $5.
It's not even like smart to buy a 12-pack of those tacos because they're all like $20-$25. I'm like, wait a minute,
is that how much it is now?
It might be. I'm just saying.
I wouldn't doubt it, man.
I'm just talking shit. I
wouldn't doubt it.
But dude, man, I mean, come on. You're thinking a lot of shit just affects us differently now than when we you know. We're older now. I admitted that last week. I'm like, man, I'm just getting old.
But then not only did things close back then, you know, thinking about it now, you know, they didn't just have a time when they closed. Like back when they were also closed on holidays.
Uh-huh.
You know what time this stuff opens up on Thanksgiving?
In the afternoon.
In the afternoon. In the afternoon, they open up McDonald's and all those other restaurants, man.
Walmart, Target, they're all the same now.
Maybe Christmas, maybe some. I don't know if all of them.
Not everybody's open, but some of them.
Some of them probably do open.
So that goes back to the dollar, man. Goes back to that dollar.
But yeah, they want to shut down TikTok.
But that's like you said, everybody has a phone. Everybody can go online and just order the shit online. I just ordered some shoes the other day.
I'm speaking of TikTok, I saw one where this guy posted that him enjoying his $64 taco when he knew he would have paid $8 if he would just picked it up himself. His $64 DoorDash taco when he knew it would have been $8 if he would just picked it up himself. Which is true, man.
I don't get it, man.
Those delivery fees are crazy.
That's fucking crazy. You're paying 3 times as much as if you just would have gone to get it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
God, leave.
Now, if you're drunk, I understand. Because DWIs are a lot more expensive than the $30 you're going to spend on that one hamburger.
Yeah, so am I going to pay $60 or $10,000?
Or $10,000.
Yeah.
$60 for a cheeseburger or $10,000 for a cheeseburger. That's when the math comes in. Okay.
Yeah, you're like, that outweighs it by a long shot. Oh man, God! Any quick shots? Any parting shots?
I mean, if they do it with TikTok, like you say, there's some people that do need to get off that crap.
Like the guy with the treadmill and the.
Well, sometimes that's kind of like entertaining because I want to see the blue ball win.
Come on, blue ball!
But I'm just tired of these like Louie touched on this last week that his algorithm with all these true crime things.
Yeah.
And I get a lot of those on mine too, and I'm tired of them people, man, because they talk like little kids, man. Because they don't want to get kicked off TikTok.
Oh, so they got to change.
They reword everything. Yeah. They make up words.
Yeah.
What the fuck is unalived?
Unalived.
What the fuck is that, man? Have you ever heard of the thesaurus? I think they still make them, right?
Yeah,
they still make thesaurus. Go out there and see what you can instead of saying what you want to say.
We used to have actual thesauruses.
Yes.
Back in the day.
Or even when you're doing a computer, you can do a drop down window.
You do a right click,
and it will tell you
other words. Highlight that word. Right click, and it'll tell you 15 other words that you can use for it.
This one dude was saying something. He was talking about one of those things, and he said, and then he brings out a 9mm Pew Pew.
Pew Pew.
I'm like, dude, you already said 9mm, man. That's all. That's it. Everybody should know what a 9mm is.
A Pew Pew.
Yes. And then you can say 9mm, but you can't say gun.
Gun? Or died or killed
weapon.
Or
Weapon. That's all you gotta say. Pew Pew. God, dude, man. Grown ass man saying Pew Pew.
Oh man, that is true. And I don't know.
And then the other ones are spelling stuff out. Like TikTok don't know how to spell or what? I don't know what she said. I can't spell.
Oh shit.
We'll leave it on there for now. Until I learn how to spell, we'll leave it on there.
Yeah, we'll just leave it.
The people are just say the word.
Yeah.
If you get kicked off, when you shouldn't be saying that in the first. You shouldn't be talking about that in the first place.
Talk about something else.
Talk about something else.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Man. Find a new way to make money. Get a job.
Get a job and advertise it on the back of your.
There you go. OnlyFans is not going to close that down.
That's gonna be.
I'm sure you could go on there if you can show your.
Look what happened when they said they were going to close it. Everybody had a shitstorm, and it's still here. They're still collecting 20%.
Yeah, you could go on OnlyFans and you can say anything you want. You don't have to say pew pew. You don't have to spell anything out.
You just show your feet. That's all you got to do.
You can even show a nipple while you're talking about that stuff.
Something. Stick your tongue out. Somebody might pay for that shit.
Exactly,
I don't know, man.
Dude, but because they don't want to get banned from TikTok, they reword everything that is just
a pew pew.
A pew pew.
I think that's what I'm going to name this episode.
Yeah,
pew pew.
Jeez.
Oh man. Well, I don't have. I already said my quick shot. I guess we'll see what happens tomorrow, man. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I haven't. I mean, TikTok is making a big deal because they're putting it out there on the their your feed or whatever, and it's like, oh, don't let Congress interfere with this, blah blah blah. And I'm like, holy shit, that's how I knew about it. That's how I took that screenshot and that's why I sent it to you. I was like, I didn't even know about this shit. But yeah, apparently it's taking place tomorrow.
But this is already like the second time though, right? Weren't they supposed to like take it down? Like months back?
Well, that's what they were trying to do. I mean, because don't get me started. This was a 45 thing. If you know what I mean. He's the one that was fucking like, they're talking bad about me. I need to take it down. Anyway. All right, man. So I guess we wrap things up here. No quick shots, no parting shots, man.
No, we just didn't have a lot of stats today because
Well, somebody's in Puerto Rico.
Somebody's in Puerto Rico living it up.
I hope they bring me a magnet or something.
Coffee.
Hint, hint.
If he hears this before it comes back, coffee.
That's strong stuff.
Strong stuff.
All right, man. Well, that's it, man. Guess we'll see you guys later.
Peace.
Peace.